So peep this. I was checking out some videos on YouTube, just minding my own business, just straight chillin', when I came across this particular video. I didn't click it, but over time I would see similar videos all around the topic of a new anime that just came out. Kotaro Lives Alone. Now, this anime is actually on Netflix, and I ended up watching the first season in like a day. 10 episodes later, I fell in love with the show. You know, I never knew elements like comedy with a side of depressing, traumatizing feels at sometimes could actually be a good form of media. And thus this show, or rather anime, was born. Kotaro Lives Alone tells the story of a 4-year-old boy named Kotaro Sato who lives alone in a building apartment. Now, Kotaro is not your average 4-year-old. In fact, he acts quite mature in some cases, thus the reason why he's able to live alone by himself. He comes across one of the neighbors and creates a friendship with this guy. His name is Shin Kotaro, and he's a mangaka creator that's having trouble trying to publish his work. Their bond is sort of created when Shin ends up questioning the fact that a 4-year-old is living by himself, along with the fact that he should not be walking around alone like any normal human being should be thinking. So he ends up looking out for Kotaro. When he's walking to the bathhouse or even home, he looks out for the kid. And at first this sort of annoys Kotaro, but eventually they create a friendship out of this. Eventually Kotaro ends up opening up to other tenants of the building and sort of creates a family that looks after him. And that's kind of the plot of the anime. Now, Kotaro Lives Alone is another hidden gem in the anime community and another anime that gets judged based on its visual looks rather than the actual story. When you see this anime for the first time, it seems like a simple anime where characters go on slice of life adventures. Which is true, but there's a twist. Alongside this cute comedy central anime, there's actually a darker story at play. You see, the reason Kotaro lives alone by himself has to do with the fact that his parents are pretty terrible people. Now, they didn't really give us a full picture or episode explaining properly about Kotaro's backstory or his parents, but based on what they have given us, the audience, so far, it seems like Kotaro's mom did not really care for Kotaro one bit and ended up leaving him. As for his dad, there were some ups and downs, but mostly downs. He ended up losing his son when he got taken into some sort of foster care. Kotaro ended up leaving the foster care in order to get away from his dad because he's been trying to get a hold of Kotaro ever since he tracked him down to that foster care. As for Kotaro's mother, she ended up passing away, and her life insurance or something like that is what Kotaro uses for living expenses. Thus the reason why he's able to live by himself. The sad part is that Kotaro actually loves his mom, even though she didn't really care for him that much, yet he doesn't know that his mom is actually dead, yet everyone else knows, which is actually really sad. If you guys are feeling slightly depressed because of hearing this, well, get ready for a shit show, my friends. See, the thing about Kotaro Lives Alone is that each episode has this sort of pattern. There is some sort of problem or new thing that comes up which leads to this slice of life adventure with Kotaro. It's all cheery and fun, and comedy elements really hit around the first half of the episode. It's later in the episode that someone talks about some traumatizing and depressing thing that's happened to them, and they make it into some sort of learning lesson or advice for Kotaro or Kotaro's friends. Now, the thing about these depressing and traumatizing moments in the show usually involves kids and he/she's parents. Whether these events happen in the past or in some cases the present time, but it's usually the parents treating the kids like shit. It's usually child neglection or the parents just being cruel to their children for no reason, but those are the usual situations that people discuss in each episode. In some cases, Kotaro learns something after his friends or family tell them of their experience where they were a kid or even when they're still a kid, and helps him solve his slice of life problem. Now, these moments don't always deal with the parents being terrible to the kids. In fact, there are some situations that don't even involve kids with their parents. For example, one of Kotaro's friends, who's actually a tenant in the building that Kotaro lives, is named Mizuki, and she works as a hostmaid. From time to time, her boyfriend would ask her for some money, and one day when she didn't give it to him, her boyfriend just straight up pimp slapped her. For the safety of herself, Kotaro advises her to leave the apartment she's staying so her boyfriend could not find her. At first, she was not down with it, but after Kotaro kept pestering her to leave every day to keep her safe, she finally left. Another incident is when one of Kotaro's friends has a bit of a legal issue with his wife trying to see his son, but his wife will not allow it. One day his kid comes to the apartment hoping to see his father. When the kid sees his father, he gets turned down and gets sent home to his mother. The reason why the father did this was because he didn't ask his mom and sneaked out to find the address of where his father lived. He didn't want the kid to break the rules, and he wants his son to be a better person than he is. And there are many other situations like this in other episodes as well. I'm actually looking at the reviews for this anime on Anime List, and it's like a straight 8 out of 10, which I would say is a pretty accurate rating for the show. When I decided to watch this anime, I went under the mind of, oh, it looks like a nice anime. Something that has that nice chill factor, like Kome-san Can't Communicate or Don't Toy With Me Miss Nagatoro. An anime that does not have this crazy hype factor to it. Like most of these so-called good animes that are out are these crazy action adventure animes like Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, even Jujutsu Kaisen. Now these are all good anime, and I personally like these anime, but Kotaro Lives Alone has that sort of deeper meaning in a way. The scenarios in these animes are really heavy, and they show a lot of emotion and moments that are depressing and traumatizing. Scenarios like this aren't really shown in the anime genre as much. And when these events or scenarios get shown, they're used as a piece of advice or a lesson for a set character in the anime you know. I actually did a bit of research on the manga, and the manga was released in 2015. Which is more than half a decade later when this anime came out. A lot of good mangas that look good usually get an anime adaptation 2 to 4 years after the manga gets released. I guess this manga was viewed based on its looks rather than the actual story. It's basically like Ranking of Kings. People judge anime based on looks rather than the actual story, the actual anime. But whatever, people are straight up just missing out on the gold mine of Kotaro Lives Alone. I personally hope that there's going to be a season 2 of Kotaro Lives Alone coming out very soon because I really enjoyed this anime. And if you guys have seen this anime, tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. But yeah, that's the video guys. If you guys liked the video, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.